You didn't just watch a marriage end. You learned at 8 years old that love is a thing that can be cancelled, and you've been quietly living with the fine print of that lesson ever since. Maybe your parents handled it gracefully. Maybe they didn't. Either way, something in you rewired that year, and nobody ever sat you down and explained what it did to you, because from the outside you seemed fine. You went to school, you adapted. Everyone said kids are resilient. But if you grew up between two homes, you already know resilient was just the word adults used so they could stop worrying about you. Nothing is wrong with you, but something did happen to you, and today we're going to name it. Here's the thing our culture gets wrong about children of divorce. Everyone focuses on the event, the announcement, the moving boxes, the custody schedule. But the divorce itself is usually not the part that shapes you. It's the years around it, the atmosphere. Because before and after any separation, there's a long stretch of time where the emotional weather in the house is unstable, and you are a kid standing in it, with no umbrella, learning to read clouds. So you develop skills. And I want to be precise about that word, because what you carry are not symptoms. They're skills. Trained, practiced, earned skills that just happen to have been trained in a classroom no child should attend. Skill 1. You read rooms before you enter them. You walk into any space, and within seconds you've scanned it, tone, tension, who's upset, who's pretending not to be. You do it at work, at parties, at family dinners. It feels like intuition. It's actually training. Developmental psychologists who study children in high-conflict homes keep finding the same adaptation. Kids become expert monitors of adult emotion because a child's safety genuinely depends on knowing what mood is walking through the door. You learn to detect a bad evening from the sound of keys in the lock, from how hard a car door closed, from one syllable of hello. Think about what that actually means. Before you were 10, you were doing emotional threat assessment at a professional level. Of course you're perceptive now. You did your 10,000 hours before puberty. Skill 2, you became the diplomat. Maybe you carried messages between two people who wouldn't speak. Maybe you learned to edit your stories. This version for Mum's house, that version for Dad's. Not because you were dishonest, but because you learned early that the full truth could start a war. Family researchers have a phrase for kids placed in this position, caught in the middle. Being the go-between forces a child to manage adult emotions in both directions, and it builds an almost supernatural ability to translate between people. If you're the friend everyone brings their conflicts to, the one who can always see both sides, that's not a coincidence. Seeing both sides used to be your job. Skill 3. You plan for the exit. Somewhere in you lives a quiet assumption. Everything ends, so be ready. It shows up in small ways. You're uncomfortable when things depend entirely on one person. You keep a private cushion, money, options, a mental map of how you'd rebuild. You struggle to relax into good things because good things, in your experience, are a phase. Attachment researchers, going back to John Bowlby's original work, found that a child's early experience of stability becomes their template for what relationships are. If the ground moved once, the nervous system files a permanent note. The ground can move. So you don't build on the ground. You build with an escape route. And skill 4, the strange one, stability makes you suspicious. When a relationship is calm, some part of you starts scanning for the thing you must be missing. Peace feels like the quiet before an announcement. Some children of divorce even find themselves picking small fights in good relationships, not because they want conflict, but because waiting for the storm is more exhausting than starting it. If you've ever done that and hated yourself for it afterward, that's not sabotage as a character flaw. That's a threat detection system with nothing left to detect inventing work. Now here's the cost of all this, and it's real. Every one of these skills runs on the same fuel, vigilance. And vigilance never got the memo that the war is over. So you can be 35, in a stable home, with a partner who's never given you a reason to doubt them, and still sleep like a night guard. Still overread a short text message. Still feel at some level that you're the only person you can fully count on, because you're the only one who's never left. I want to be honest here, more honest than these videos usually are, because this topic deserves it. Not everything divorce leaves behind is a hidden strength. Some of it is just weight, the hyper-independence that won't let people help you, the way you apologize for needing things, The relationships you ended early just to beat them to it. Growing up between two homes gave you real abilities, and it also gave you real losses, and pretending the losses were secretly gifts is its own kind of lie. Both things are true. You're impressive because of what you survived, and you're also a kid who deserved not to need surviving skills at all. Hold both. There's another piece almost nobody says out loud. A lot of you became experts at making yourself small and easy. You learned that the safest child is the one who causes no extra problems, so you got good grades, stayed quiet about your own needs, and became the low-maintenance one in every room. And that follows you. As an adult, you're the friend who never asks for anything, the partner who insists they're fine, the person who feels guilty taking up space. That wasn't your personality. That was a survival strategy that worked so well you forgot you were running it. But here's what I've noticed about people who carry this history, and it's the part nobody tells you. You are the person in your circle with the most realistic understanding of love that exists. You've seen it fail up close, at ground level, before you were old enough to look away. Which means when you choose to trust someone, knowing everything you know, that trust isn't naive. It's not the trust of someone who's never seen the ending. It's braver than that. Every child of divorce who builds a lasting relationship is doing it without a working model. From scratch, on land they watched crack once. And a lot of you are doing exactly that, quietly, right now. The statistics people love to quote about you don't capture the ones who broke the pattern, the ones who became almost obsessively intentional about the family they're building, precisely because they know what the alternative feels like from the inside. You learned that love can be cancelled, and then some of you went and built the uncancelable kind anyway. That's not resilience. Resilience is the word adults used when they wanted to stop worrying about you. This is something better. This is authorship. If this was you, if you grew up reading rooms and carrying messages, tell me in the comments how old you were when it happened and the one habit from that time you still have. I read everyone, and on this topic especially, the comments become the real video. If it hit home, there's another video on your screen right now about the generation that raised half of us and figured it out late. And if you're new here, subscribe, because this channel is for the people who had to grow up watching things adults thought they couldn't see. See you in the next one.